Wow.
What wow?
Nothing.
Espectacular, ¿eh? Espectacular.
Hey, is that it? Is that all you're doing? Wow. Hola, amigos. Taxi. Good boy. Django. Good boy. Come on in. Good boy.
Woo-woo.
Yeah, oh right, arse scratch straight away, alright then. Arse scratch duties. What are you doing? Oi, shh, oh you! Abuelo, abuelito, no. Oye. No bien. So, I am, welcome to another episode of Barefoot Andaluz. I'm going to change it up a little bit because I'm post-operation on a hernia, which is a bit shit, so I can't ride for a few weeks, so lack of videos. And Verena's busy on muck collection duties and feeding and stuff because I'm not allowed to lift anything. Anyway, it's really pants, so all I'm good for is scratching my horse's ass. So I thought I'd change it up, and I was going to give you, off the back of Django's ass, Django, should we give them some tips on owning a horse in Spain? Should we? Yeah, you want to do that? No, he wants his ass scratched. Right, so number one tip for owning a horse in Spain is decide whether you're going to keep your horses at your house, on your land, or put them in livery. If you go with your land, you will need an ORCA license, which is where your land is vet checked, and then the Ayuntamiento will grant you a license and tell you how many horses and animals you can have at your place. If you go with livery, that's already done for you. What I would also say is look at the size of the paddocks. We're really lucky, we have a massive paddock, but this kind of stuff is quite normal, but we do have a massive paddock. Yes, Django, I'll scratch your bum. And I can't speak for the north, but down south it's a lot drier, obviously, and we will have, where am I going with this? Yeah, but so paddock size, they're often really small, so check out the paddock sizes where you go. But if you are coming from another country and bringing your horse, don't be surprised with the livery. It does take a bit of getting used to with paddock sizes. All right, dude. So the next thing is to find yourself a vet who you trust and who you can importantly understands your way of working with your horses and what you want. There are plenty around, don't be afraid to ask in the forums, but get that one sorted ASAP. And then find a feed supplier and a hay supplier. Don't be afraid to negotiate on price, especially if you're buying in bulk. Always negotiate, obviously respectfully, but always negotiate, it's no problem with that. You will find people are really helpful. The next thing to do, as you can tell from the videos, the next thing to do is see the surrounding land and the access to it, what you have access to. Do you have access to plenty of campo, mountainous areas, flat area? What do you have access to? And I should make a note of also facilities at where you have livery. Pistas, round pistas, training pens, all of that stuff. Look for what you want. Then look for the location. If you have to cross lots of busy highways, rivers, roadworks, busy towns to get out to the countryside, it's going to wear you down steep concrete hills with a shoed horse, well, with a barefoot horse as well. It's, you might find that a bit difficult, so do check access to the surrounding area and the type of area you've got surrounding you. Django, enough, man. Your brother's a lot more tranquilo than you are. What else do we want to talk about, Django? Oh dear. What else goes along with livery? Yes, closer to town tends to be more expensive. Out of town, less expensive. Again, look at access, look at what they offer. Don't be afraid to ask and tell the stable owner what you require for your horses. Hay is a luxury down south, that's another thing to remember, and at the moment it's horrendously expensive. Straw and alfalfa are a big thing, and hard food's quite a popular thing here. The other thing I'd say with bringing your horse, so those are the things I'd say. Look for a trainer who suits your needs as well, if you're after a trainer or instructions. Not everybody here, and it is without causing too much controversy, not all the trainers here are good trainers, despite maybe having the bits of paper or saying they are, and not all of them have particularly nice ways of training the horse. There is a cultural attitude here. It's not everywhere, not everybody has it, but they can be a bit harsh. So find a trainer who suits your needs and works with your horse and your way that you like. There are loads of them, by the way. I painted a bit of a black picture there, but there are loads of really, really good trainers here. What else? If you're bringing your horse here or you're thinking of keeping a horse here, it is cheaper than North Europe to have a horse. There is a great lifestyle. Have fun. There's loads of romeries and farriers to go to. Again, gauge your time. It is kind of a normal thing to have your horse standing around on concrete, things like that. So just be aware of that. If you're going to a romeria for the first time, maybe go on foot first before you take your horse and decide whether you want to take your horse or not. But do get into the spirit of things. There's some really, really great routes to take, groups. Again, get into the forums, speak to people at the livery. And I say the last thing I'd say is learn the language, learn at least some of it, to be able to organise hay, straw, explain to the vet what you want, things like that. Words for saddle, bit, bridle, whatever you need. Even if you just learn some of the keywords, it's really, really handy, and it does open a few doors for you and just helps you integrate a bit easier if you're coming from elsewhere. But if you're already in Spain and you're already integrated and you just want to own a horse, then pay attention to only the other tips. Other than that, Mr. Django, I've got to go. So I'm going to hand you over to some lessons with Verena and Jorge, and that's my tips for the week. I'll give you some more tips next week on what to expect when riding a horse in Spain. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to go and feed these two guys, although they got some hay, and I'll speak to you soon. Adios. So over to Verena, working with Django on a Friday. It's her turn with Django. The rest of the week she works with Pam Weller, but Django misses his mum sometimes. And basically all we're trying to do is still loosen him up on the left side, his ridges. There's some leg yields and some more. And Django really, really likes working with Verena. Obviously she's had him since he was a foal, so he works really well, and her and Jorge work really well together. Smile, riding's fun. Oh, that's just me getting her back from the other week. And here you can't really make out what the conversation, but basically she's winding Jorge up. And Jorge always confides in me that he tries to get Verena to do things, but Verena does things her own way. She does listen to him, she does follow his instruction, but she's very stubborn, she's Taurian, so you have to plant the seed with Verena. And this is basically working towards gallop pirouettes and collecting Django, collecting the horse. It's good for them, it's good for their balance. It's shifting the weight onto the hind legs so they have a more balanced weight rather than everything going onto their shoulders. They do it naturally in the wild, but domesticated horses tend to drop all their weight onto the front. So you have to retrain them to, because it's easier for them, but then to retrain them to put it on the back. And again, this is all collection work. Making him more supple, softer on the back, more balanced, and looser on the left. When you work Django to the right, he's amazing. Just body weight, body language will do it. I love it, it's very rigid.
Un tranquito de galope, ahora un tranquito de galope, aunque no sean piruetas. Cuidado que no saque la espalda, tu pierna exterior un poco más adelante, que no saque la espalda. Bien en pirueta, fácil, al paso.
More pirouettes.
Bien, sigue galopando. Ahora galopa.
Ya no galopa, eso es el problema.
A esta mano no le exigimos tanto, porque le cuesta más. De la pirueta galope y galopamos un poquito más de tiempo. Eso, galope. Ahora cuello largo. Galope, cuello largo. Y ahora dale una parada cuando tú veas, una parada fuerte.
And a rear halt, again trying to shift the weight onto his hindquarters rather than stopping and putting all of his weight onto his front shoulders. And another rear halt. He's getting there, he tends to bounce a little bit, but it's because it's new for him. And then hand you over to Jorge, the master. And I don't show you all the warm-ups, but Jorge takes a long time to warm Django up. It takes him steadily through everything until we get to this kind of point where it's collection, tight work, gallop pirouettes, balancing these weight out, advanced dressage. Always stroking the horse, always talking to the horse. And a rear halt. And interestingly enough, Jorge, for a long time, wasn't sure whether Django had the right. Django's quite a cold blood. Wasn't sure whether. Well, actually, Jorge said Django was lazy, and wasn't sure whether he'd be able to get up to this level. But he's pleasantly surprised at just how well Django will work and how quick he learns stuff. And that's it. See you next week. Take care, adios.